Welcome, everybody. Process Spotlight here. I'm your host, Brother Dan Goodwood, and Dr. Charles Iltemiddle, our co-host, is with us today as well, as always. And fasten your seatbelt and get ready. We're going to share some interesting tidbits. Doc, we're getting ready to do a show on the converging of prophecy, the different types of prophecy, all coming,
all the roads
meeting together.
Roads are converging. Yes, they are.
Oh, a year or two ago, we did something like that. It might have been a couple of years ago. But there's so much more that's blossoming.
Every day is not only a new day on the calendar, it's a new day in prophecy.
Now, we don't have a lot of time in these ones, but this is radio as well as YouTube, and we want the radio folks to hear some of this because the radio folks don't get to hear the TV show and the half-hour YouTube show that we do here. So sometimes we like to give them a little summary of the show. And so let's talk about this, Doc. There's no doubt, and let me read a verse here. In verse Luke chapter 28, verse 11, and the viewers might want to look that up later, starting in verse 8. We're not going to read it all, but starting in verse 8, going all the way to verse 11, he tells them, take heed, don't be deceived. And there's going to be wars and rumors of wars in verse 9. Nation shall rise against nation, verse 10. Well, there's a lot of them right there we're going to talk about.
Yep.
But then in verse 11, talks about something really pertinent, and just in the last few weeks, great earthquakes in diverse places.
Right.
And then he goes on to something that maybe some parts of the world has, but we don't see it yet. Famines, pestilences, fearful sights. That's yet to come, John.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen that yet.
I think we've seen some of it, but it's...
You let a huge disaster happen, that will come quickly.
Yeah.
When you can't go to the grocery store
That's right.
and get groceries, I mean, famine and starvation and disease. And
you hear threats of it all the time, and fearful sights, I think, is something that because of technology, we now are able to see things that cause people to
They
be
show
frightful.
stuff on TV. They show people dying.
And a lot of that on TV and news is all staged.
Yeah.
That was the thing recently of Israel starving all of these children in Gaza. That's a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah.
But the picture they showed is all a staged thing. And so people only see what the camera's looking at, doesn't see all of the background and all of that.
There was the other one where the tent, they said there was media personnel. Yeah. And they're saying Israel blew up that tent. Well, how do we know that wasn't one of their rockets?
That's right.
And how do we know it even happened?
Well, that's the thing.
They've been lying about this for years.
They've come up with some pictures of that was being shown, and it's really something that either was in Syria or even one of them was down in Houthi land, and it had nothing to do with Gaza.
Yeah.
But fearful sights is one of those signs that you read about it or you might have seen something a little bit, but in our world today, every evening's news has got it.
Well, let's start where we left off here, and the thing that's probably more prominent, because everyone has heard about it, the earthquake.
Oh, yes.
We did a show on this. I don't know if we did an update or a show. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But we talked about the 8.8. I think they're saying the third or fourth biggest earthquake in recorded history.
About the third, somewhere in the neighborhood of the third biggest. But
I think there was a 9.1 recorded somewhere.
It was the one in Alaska, Russia, just across from Alaska's border there. The first one was 6 point something down at the other end of that Pacific plate. And a response to that, what an earthquake is the movements of the platelets of the earth. They sometimes slide over the top of each other, and then they have a subduction where they bump against each other, and that's ones that create the tsunamis and are more severe. But one on one end of that plate, and then 24 hours later, the one on the other end of the plate. And as a result, the next day, the volcano not very far from it erupted, And now we have 7 or 8 new eruptions. They've closed down Yellowstone National Park.
I didn't hear about
Yes.
the earthquake there. You said it was yesterday?
Oh, they've been having earthquake. They call it swarms. No, for weeks and weeks they've been having earthquakes in Yellowstone. And Old Faithful now, the other day, it literally exploded. I mean, 5 times as high as normal and threw out debris all over the place. They literally took the rangers in and rounded everybody up that was in Yellowstone National Park and ushered them right out and locked. You can't even go and visit there now because they think it may explode. Mount St. Helens, that back in the 80s, it exploded.
And that's Washington State, right?
Yeah. Well, it's showing signs of happening again.
Wasn't that the one that put all that ash in,
Yes.
in the atmosphere, and they said it affected the temperature?
For at least 5 states, it covered at least 5 states with ash.
And I think it affected the temperature and all
It
that.
changed. Well, it done a lot of things, but yes, but there are now several more. Matter of fact, in Indonesia, I believe it was the other day, there was a volcano that erupted again. One of these has been dormant for over 600 years. All of a sudden now it's happening.
And then I heard there's rumblings on the New Madrid Fault line.
Oh, yes.
That's close to home.
That's very close to our home. Matter of fact, about 3 or 4 days ago, just across the Indiana line, about 60 miles, maybe 50 miles from where we're sitting, there was a 4.0 earthquake just over the line there on the other side of the Wabash River. But California, they're having major earthquakes. Everybody's expecting. So what is happening is because of technology, we are now able to be made aware of things that we never would have before.
Yeah.
And it's creating fearful sights.
Okay, so let's look at some of these. In my 7 Clocks of Ticking book, she'll put that up for you folks. If you're listening on the radio, you can't see it, but if you'll find the YouTube channel, you can see these. I wrote this book a few years back, exciting book. It's about 7 ticking clocks pointing to midnight. And then we use that statement just to get to make a point that, hey, it's 5 minutes to midnight. Time is short.
Right.
That's what we're trying to say. And there were 7 things. I'm sure there's many others we could find, but I did 7 different clocks ticking that are showing that we're near the end of this thing. Now, people can argue all they want. Well, you don't know and you can't know. And well, you know what? Then why is all this stuff in the Bible? Why did God put Luke 21 in there? Why did he put Matthew 24? When you see all these things, know it is near, even at the door.
And he said, we're children of the light walking in the day, so we'd know the season in which we're living.
That day shall not overtake you as a thief.
That's
Those of
right.
us that are watching.
That's right.
But sadly, I think he is going to come surprisingly to most Christians, because most Christians are not watching. They're not expecting.
They're just living life as if this is all there is to it.
And they're living worldly lives for the most part, most people, not thinking that one day this is going to stop. I'm going to be face to face with Jesus.
We're going to cover
and
that
I'm going to be ashamed.
We're going to cover that in a couple of weeks.
We're going to cover that. It'll be the next program after this one. The first one that I have in my book, and I know you got I'll just pick a couple, Doc, and you've got several that you can pick from. We won't be able to do many because there's only 4 minutes left. But the ticking nuclear clock is surprisingly interesting right now because of what just happened. The fact that Russia is still in the battle with Ukraine, and anything could happen.
And their nuclear program was damaged in this earthquake the other day.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yes.
But,
and then the nuclear thing in Iran, the blowing all of that up over there.
But what I'm talking about is Donald Trump, the president, relocated some of our submarines. He made that public statement. They moved some nuclear submarines to a more strategic area.
Well, because Dmitrov up there in Russia said something about in a slight-handed way about we could just nuke you. And so he moved our subs right there where, okay, let's see what you really want to do.
So we did that, and then they did something. And so nuclear war is once again a possibility.
A very possible.
And it could happen in an instant. It would change the entire world.
It would.
And so that clock is ticking, and it looks like it's moved a little closer to midnight.
Yeah.
We got that. We got the 6,000-year clock where we're close to the end of the
calendars tell us we're getting close to there.
Yep. We got the condition of the church is ticking down.
My.
I mean, the Laodicean age.
The deception. He said, be not deceived, but yet the greater majority are deceived.
We were talking in the office about some of the things on that list that are kind of very applicable today. Israel, of course, Israel is, that's the most important part of prophecy is Israel.
But there are a lot of people that are discounting it for whatever reason.
So a couple minutes left, Doc. Give us a couple of yours.
I've also got a DVD. She might want to put that up there on 7 things that we find in Luke. And he talks about things that are under the earth, things that are on the earth, and things that are above the earth. And so the first thing he talks about is what we just mentioned, and that is the deception of the church. He said, be not deceived. They're going to be coming saying, I'm here and I'm there, and that's not me. But one of the things that in Luke chapter number 21 is he said there'll be fearful sights, and then he said there would be signs that are in the heavens. And just this week, or just here in the last 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of the month of August, we have had some major things happen. Number one, we're having solar flares that are affecting many things on planet Earth.
Yeah, electronics.
Then, coupled with that, is the alignment of 6 planets the other day. All of that, what people probably don't realize that gravitational pull, we're all familiar with gravity, and we know that if you jump off the building, you're going to fall to the ground. But they don't realize that all of the universe is put together, and even Mars and Saturn, all of these other, all have a play with the gravitational pull on planet Earth. And so this is causing some of the stress for all these earthquakes.
Yeah.
And so then we had one of the largest meteor showers that you're going to see in however long. And then you've got some the alignment and the arrangement with the moon that took place last night. We're seeing things in the heavens. When you put that back to Genesis chapter 1, verses 14 and 15, you find he said he made the sun and the moon and the stars also. And he said, I put them up there for signs, seasons, days, and your first of all signs.
Yeah.
So I think that we're seeing signs that tells us that we are definitely in the season.
And there's all these different things all coming together.
All coming together at the same time.
Well, folks, in the 20 seconds we got left, what do you do about that? Number one, you better search your soul. You better make sure you truly are born again. You've trusted Christ as your Savior. You've turned to Jesus and trusted Him for salvation. If not, you're going to be left behind. You may want to contact us for some help with that. Until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.